My name is Clara Hargrove, and I am 29 years old. I live in the small, picturesque town of Glenwood Falls, where the mountains cradle us and the people are as tight-knit as family. I have always been a dreamer, with ambitions to create, to tell stories that resonate. My day job as a graphic designer at a local print shop pays the bills, but my heart yearns for something more. My friends often describe me as creative yet sensible, balancing my artistic aspirations with a need for stability. Life had always felt manageable until a shadow cast itself in my world. This shadow came in the form of Thomas Sterling, my former friend, turned rival. We had been thick as thieves during our college years, inseparable in our creative pursuits. However, as soon as we both graduated and ventured into the working world, the friendly competition between us turned sour. Thomas, with his charming smile and silver tongue, somehow managed to undermine me at every turn. I would create something beautiful for a project, only for him to come behind me and take the credit, leaving me in the shadows. My big chance to showcase my work came in the form of a popular annual art showcase where local talents could display their projects. The prize was substantial. It could be my gateway into the world of professional design, boosting my career to heights I had only dreamed of. I poured my heart and soul into my submission, an intricate mural that depicted the beauty of Glenwood Falls through the changing seasons, a project I had been working on for months. Just weeks before the showcase, Thomas devised a plan. He had somehow gotten a hold of my sketch, and under the guise of goodwill, suggested we collaborate. I, in my naive belief that perhaps he had changed, agreed. Instead of partnership, he masterminded a scheme to claim the work as his own. On the day of the presentation, he stood before the judges, presenting my mural proudly while I watched, my heart shattering into a million pieces. At that moment, I felt a fury ignite within me, igniting a desperate desire for revenge. I watched as Thomas basked in admiration, the accolades, the attention, everything that was rightfully mine. I resolved that I had to find a way to take back what he had stolen from me. Days turned into restless nights, filled with sleepless thoughts of how best to enact my plan. I thought about confronting him directly, but that would only give him the satisfaction of knowing he had rattled me. No, I needed to outsmart him, to put him in a position where he could not retaliate. After some careful consideration, I devised a new plan that would involve much more than petty revenge. It would require cunning, a layer of deception. I decided to create an even more extraordinary piece of art. If I could fabricate a second mural, even more intricate and captivating than the first, showcasing not just my talent, but also the unique aspects of Glenwood Falls that I loved, I could overshadow his deceit. However, every effort came with its obstacles, starting from securing a location where I could create this new work. I reached out to my friends and the community, who were initially supportive, but I soon faced challenges. As I began the project in secrecy, a storm hit Glenwood Falls, causing damage to the fabric of our close-knit community. Many residents were struggling, and funds were tight. My friends began to voice their concerns about me focusing on an art project over helping those in need. I found myself at a crossroads, feeling guilty about my ambition when tragedy surrounded me. Just as I thought I could rally the town to my vision, I was met with resistance, not from them, but from within myself. It was one evening, alone at home, when I slipped into a deep darkness. As I looked at my empty sketchbook and canvases, the weight of failure collapsed on me. It felt like my dreams and hopes were slipping through my fingers as I thought of Thomas, smug and triumphant. It was a complete down spiral. I thought about quitting art altogether, relinquishing my dreams forever, because how could I compete with someone who had no moral spine? The doubts gnawed at me like shadows creeping into my mind. I felt utterly defeated, as if the universe was conspiring against me, to ruin me not just as an artist, but to erase my very essence. I sat in that despair, contemplating if moving forward was worth the struggle. However, as I looked at pictures of the mural I had originally designed, a flicker of determination sparked inside me. I knew I had to dig deep, and so I took a breath and got back to work. I began to sketch my new mural beneath the cover of night, away from the judgment of the town, pouring every ounce of my anguish and spirit into the colors I mixed with fervid passion. I would express my pain through art, capturing not only the beauty of Glenwood Falls, but the resilience of its people. I worked tirelessly, painting under the stars, allowing the rhythm of the brush to soothe my troubled mind. I finally completed a mural that was a celebration of life, community, and healing. When it was done, I emerged from my sanctuary ready to unveil my masterpiece. The unveiling would coincide with Glenwood Falls Community Festival, and it was the perfect backdrop to showcase my work. With a mix of excitement and dread, I set the grand unveiling for the festival. The townspeople gathered, and my heart raced as I pulled back the draping cloth that concealed my mural. Gasps echoed across the crowd. I stared at their faces. Every emotion from shock to admiration came forth. Thomas, standing nearby, was gripping the arms of his companions, his expression morphing from confusion to disbelief. The moment was electric, and I felt an overwhelming sense of triumph flood through me. I had taken my pain and transformed it into something beautiful, something that even he could not undermine. But as I soaked in the applause, I noticed Thomas's face turning dark, anger seeping as his veneer chipped away. In a moment of desperation, he rushed towards the mural, claiming it was nothing but a rip-off of my original idea. He hollered accusations, trying to undermine my triumph as the judges looked between us. I felt my heart pound in my chest. This was not the ending I had envisioned. With a deep breath, I stood before him, and in front of the community, I spoke. I mentioned how he had taken my original work, how he had painted over the vibrant forest hues and the stories I had woven within it. As my voice resonated in the tense air, I shared my journey, the struggle I faced, and how I reclaimed my art from despair. The town rallied to my side, stunned silence shifting into whispers of support. In that moment, the tide began to turn. The crowd began to chant my name, drowning him out. Thomas realized he could not win this fight, not when the truth had emerged. As the tension hung in the air, a transformation unfolded. The judges slowly began to applaud, and I felt the rush of passion course through me. I had risen from the ashes of that betrayal, but more than that, I had found my voice again. Thomas, realizing he was trapped, turned and left, his defeat echoing louder than any cheers. With the festival bustling around me and the sun setting over the mountains, I felt free at last. The mural would not only be my redemption, but also a testament to resilience, healing, and artistry that spoke loud and clear. In the days that followed, I became more than just an artist. I became a beacon in my community, inspiring others with my tale of perseverance. The festival showcased more than my work. It became an annual celebration of creativity, invigorating the town's spirit, and I felt an unbreakable bond grow among the people. As I walked through the town, with my mural proudly displayed behind me, little did I know that life had a way of throwing curveballs again. There was always room for more growth, but I was proud of my journey and remained grounded within the community that had lifted me. Ultimately, while revenge came in many forms, one timeless truth held firm. It is through our trials that we discover our truest selves.